All right, fourth graders, we have a lot to do today. Let's talk about our first step, which is finishing our free to practice. Your typography free to practice, remember you had 3 goals to meet. You want to make sure that your letters are filling the space of the dark values of the Frida, touching the edges, so making sure your letters are stretching and changing to fit the edges of the shape and not just hovering in the middle of the shape. And they should be shape letters. So try and change up your letters so that they're more of a shape letter and not just a line letter like this. So once you finish your free to practice, you're going to start your project planning for your typography design. So you're going to be deciding, what person do I want to focus on for my portrait, thinking of some words that describe that person, and then focusing on some elements of art and principles of design. So let's look at that. This is your project planning worksheet. You're going to start with your art goal. For art goal, you should be thinking about typography and think about the practice. What is our goal for the practice? We had 3 goals to meet, and so make sure you create a sentence that has to do with typography. The subject should be the person that you want to focus on. So for this one, it was Frida. For my final project, I focused on Black Panther, actually. So for you, you're going to decide, what do you want to focus on? So here's my example. And you should be thinking of your own idea for your example. So this would be the person that you want to make a portrait of. For this box here, usually we do a sketch of your idea, but for this area, we're just going to brainstorm 10 words that describe your person. So kind of like how I brainstormed a whole list of words here that I thought described this person, you're going to do at least 10 in that box. No sketching of your design today. Materials and techniques. We're going to be using Sharpie markers to do this. We're going to be using a plastic sheet, and it looks kind of like this. And your picture is going to go inside of that plastic sheet, and you're going to be drawing on the plastic sheet with your markers. So you can just talk about how we're using just simple markers and plastic. And then later we're going to be designing a background. So we'll save a spot here to talk about the techniques for the background. Elements of art and principles of design. Elements of art are the basic little building blocks that make up your work of art. So for this work of art, decide if we're using line, shape, form, color, value, texture, or space. And then tell me in this next line here how you're using shapes, how you're using color if you are. For principles of design, we haven't focused too much on these words here. Here's a list of the principles of design if you're not sure what they mean. For this project, I'm actually just going to give you the answer for what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on contrast. And what contrast means is the difference between elements. So for us, it's the difference between light and dark elements. Because in our work of art, we're really focusing on the dark value and making sure we have letters and words only in the dark values. So we have a lot of contrast going on for this one. So circle contrast. If you think there's anything else that you're focusing on, then you can circle that and then tell me how. So that will complete this worksheet. Once you've done that, you're going to, number 3, it says you're going to edit your photo, your final photo for your final project. So to do this, we're going to use these directions here and a program called Photo to Poster Easy. So on the directions, it tells you that you have to find your picture first in Google. And once you find a picture that you like, normally I would say try and make sure you see their whole face and the focus is their portrait face. Once you have that picture, you're just going to take this picture and drag it to your desktop and drop it there. Then you're going to go to the little magnifying glass. You're going to open up the program that says Photo to Poster Easy. It looks like this. And this is a photo editing app that you can make your image kind of posterized. So you're just going to click open, find that picture that you want, and it should open here. Now there's some color options here. We're not going to be needing any color in this picture because we're just going to be using a black Sharpie. But what you should do is try and play around with just making your picture black and white by taking the bars and moving them to the black and the white area. However, if it kind of washes your person's face out and you can't see the face features, you need to kind of play around with the bars and maybe add a medium value gray. So what we really want is we want to be able to see the person's face clear enough, but it's still going to be a little bit abstract. Abstract means it doesn't look exactly like the realistic portrait here. It's a little bit flattened with only 1, 2, 3 colors. So it's going to look a little bit odd, but we just want to make sure that it looks like our person. So once you get it how you like it and you kind of played around and you have a picture that looks like your person, you have a dark value, you have light value, then come see me and I'm going to print this for you. We're going to take a little screenshot of our picture and it should come up on your desktop, and we're just going to click File, Print, and then we'll send this to the LMC printer. So if you're not sure how to take a screenshot and print your picture to the LMC, come see me and I will help you with that. We're going to scale it up, scale to fit, so it makes a full size, and we're going to go to the LMC. So once you've done all that, you're ready for your final project. So your final project, you need to grab, find the right video here, you need to grab the plastic sheet that is on the art cart, and you need to place your picture inside. So you should place it all the way to the edge so it's stuck in there. It doesn't move around. And then you're just using Sharpies now in your list of words that you brainstorm to describe your person, different sizes of Sharpies based on what shape you're drawing in. And you are writing, just like we did with the Frida, words that describe the person. Now, it's really important that you don't put any words in the light value areas. You're only looking for the darkest values, and that will help the face come to life. Now, looking at the eye here, how I've done the eye, I have a really big eyebrow shape with a shadow. So this whole dark area, I need some words inside of. So I'm going to make sure I stretch my letters to fit the shapes. And for small shapes like this, you can just do letters. Like I did BP for Black Panther on the eyebrow and the eye line here. I'm going to do some thick letters up top to fill this shape. And then on the little outline of the eye, I might have to use a skinny Sharpie or just use really tiny letters and string some words together to fit these spaces, because these are like really small shapes. They're almost resembling just a black line. So make sure your letters are stretching and changing. If you're trying to see how it's looking, take your plastic off and you can see how it's going. So when you finish, you should be able to see the person's face features correctly. You should use 10 words or more that describe the person, and then later we'll work on the background. All right, let's get started.